How do you flip this shit? How do you flip this? Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. How do you unlock that orientation? Oh, damn! I didn't know you could do this. Anyways, today put a little Q&A. All right, guys. So before we head off to work, we're gonna talk about love. Let's talk about love. So to me, what love is within any relationship, this is not really like um, not really in a romantic way. Just love in general. Just love in general. It's like you don't gotta like someone to love them. You don't gotta. You could honestly hate someone and still love them. Love is understanding what somebody's been through, what somebody is going through at the moment, and why somebody is the way they are, why somebody behaves a certain way, why somebody acts a certain way. Why people react certain ways. You know what I mean? Love is an understanding in you. If we really take the time to understand each other, there would be more love in the world. I feel like that's a big problem. Is like a lot of people don't want to take the time to like understand someone and why they are the way they are. There's no empathy with a lot of people. And if we really just were more empathetic as the human race, like, as a human race, like as a race, like a dominant race on this planet, if we were more understanding of each other, I feel like there would be no wars or battles if we really just loved each other. And you know, but maybe one day we'll see that. I know we'll see that in the afterlife. Um, I honestly wonder, like, what is love to like aliens? Like, what, like, this is a little, just we're gonna a little bit, we're gonna move it a little bit, okay? Yo, imagine like on a different planet, what is love to aliens? Like, what would like say there's a race on Saturn? What would love be to the race on Saturn? I actually understand. I actually wonder. I wonder what love would be on Saturn. That'd be crazy if like it's like love is different there. It'd be very interesting. Sandwich. Love is like an understanding though. So I got a little bit sidetracked. I got a touch of the HD, the ADHD. So like sometimes I get sidetracked and I get distracted. But yeah, man. If you love someone, you gotta understand what their motives are, and understand you gotta know them. You gotta know like what they hate, what they like, what they love, what makes them comfortable, what makes them uncomfortable. Um, really just understanding why somebody is. If we took time to do that, this would be a way better world. This world will be way better. But I can't help the whole world. You know what I mean? But I know I can help some people. I know, and at least if I can make a group of people feel the way I feel about people, maybe you know, it all starts with like an idea, and then idea becomes hope. Hope turns into faith, and then faith turns into action, and then action becomes the result. So we really just gotta build a community, and I know there's many communities out there. But I'm gonna do this thing until a community reaches out to me. Like, I'll be happy to join. Um, to be honest, I'm not gonna go out my way looking for one. I just feel like I'll attract one eventually. I feel like I'll be noticed by one, and then they'll get in touch with me because yeah. But yo, man, Lonely, so lonely. I'm lonely, so lonely. But yeah, we're just here to talk about love, you know? We all gotta understand each other and know what love is, because you gotta know what's gonna piss someone off. If you love somebody and you know that's gonna piss them off to the point where they're gonna get like frustrated and angry and like really negative in a negative state, why are you doing that? That's not love. You know, you're gonna like, why are you saying things that are hurtful? Don't be saying things that are hurtful, man. It don't cost nothing to hate someone, and it doesn't cost nothing to. Actually, you know what? That hating on someone does come with a price. I'm not gonna lie. Everything has a price on it. You know, everything has a price. You know, there's an equivalent exchange to everything you do. At least most things you do. So you gotta really be careful on who you hating on. That's why I say, you know, you gotta love everybody, man. Like, why like, let's be honest, man. Why do you want to hate someone, bro? Why do you want to hate someone? Like, why don't you just love them? Why don't you just like be like, oh yeah, I love you, bro. I love you, man. You know, why don't you just love, bro? Why don't you just love, man? Nobody wants to take the time to love anymore. Actually, no, I take that back. So I don't want to generalize it. A lot of people don't want to take the time to love because everybody's so emotionally intelligent and they don't want to put themselves in a situation where they feel like they're in a bad position, which is understandable. But then where's the love? You know, love is going the extra mile. You know, love is going the extra mile for someone. But you know, honestly, I think like the older generation has to be more loving, bro. Like the generation of, if you're older, you have to love the youth, bro. You have to love everybody below you because you have to be a representation of your generation. So you really got to just like, you got to remind people, you got to really be the representation of what love is, because like they may not act like it, but the younger generation always looks up to people, especially older people. So you always got to be a representation of a human being, a loving human being. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, you're not going to be like that forever. You know, like forever isn't always forever. But you know, you just gotta at least try to be consistent with it. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's gonna be like loving person, nobody's gonna be a loving person 24/7 because we're all humans. But the least you could do is try. You know, you gotta try. What's up, not Nai? I don't know how to pronounce your name, but sorry, man. This coffee's good, man. Yo, you ever talking about love, bro? I love this stuff. I love this hazelnut coffee, mate. It's really good, man. But you know, even like you know, from my history, like I know like a lot of people, and it's like it hurts my feelings sometimes. A lot of people I know personally, they go through a lot of problems, and sometimes I'm involved with those problems, not wanting to be in the problems. But sometimes you just have to do things you don't want to be, or the things you sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do. You know, you gotta like really be there for people, even if you don't want to, because you need to. There's a difference between wants and needs. You know, these people have needs. They need someone to be an ear to listen to. They need someone to listen. They need someone there emotionally, and they need love. You know what I mean? A lot of people are deprived by love, so sometimes you really gotta be there as a person, as a human being. You know, that's why I'm here, man. That's honestly why I think I'm living. That's or at least a part of the reason why I'm living. I'm here to be a loving person. As much as I get angry or frustrated, I'm a human being. Obviously, I'm gonna get angry or frustrated. You can't mark a person for getting angry. You can't, because everybody gets angry. You know, if you could mark me for getting angry, then yo man, throw a stone at me. Only if you've never been angry before. You know, you can't tell me you've never been mad before. Everybody's been mad. Everybody has their ups and downs. It's like I know everybody talks about that, but like some people need to be reminded, man. Some people actually need to be reminded. It's like you're not perfect too. Like some people actually need a reminder. A lot of people need reminders. But that's the world we live in. It's like, you know, people will take stuff too personal, like that they're gonna mark someone for the rest of their life. It's like, are you gonna mark that person for the rest of your life, man? You're really gonna mark that person for the rest of your. You're gonna hold a grudge on that person for the rest of your life. You know, that's not your job, man. That's not your job. That's God's job. That's our Creator's job, or the judge. You know, that's the judge's job. That's not our job. Our job is to live and love and provide and feel emotions and create motion and get active in these streets. You know what I mean? We gotta get active. We all gotta get active these days. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like these days, I see it. Like, bro, you go to a restaurant, somebody's on a date. They're both on their phones. Is that a date or is that a hangout? Like, what is that? What is that? Is that a date or a hangout? You tell me. You know, I feel like I'm not judging. I'm questioning. I'm questioning. I'm not judging. I'm questioning. Is that a date or a? Is that a date? Is that a date or a hangout? Like, you go to a fancy restaurant, you see, you know, a beautiful woman, a guy that's like really like, I don't know, a confident guy or whatever. Why the hell are they both on their phones? Like, what could be the possible or the possibilities of you standing right in front of your partner or sitting right in front of your partner and you're on your phone, not like dude, you guys went out for dinner. You guys paid for a luxury meal. That's a luxury, you know? Going out to dinner is a luxury. You paid for a luxury. Why aren't you communicating with your partner? Why are you guys just on your phones, just like not talking, you know, like spreading the joy, you know? That's just my problem. That's just my problem. For real. Like, that's why, like, you know, it's hard to find like a solid partner these days. I guess like, and maybe you know I guess that's just my issue. You know, finding someone that's solid and somebody that's like not constantly when it's just like alone time. It's like I could only really do that with some of my friends. Like, you know, I can only really do that with my friends. We could sit there and just like we don't even need to be on our phones because we just communicate so well. I feel like communication is a big problem these days. Like people don't know how to communicate face to face. Like when it comes to dates or like hangouts, everybody's just on their phone. Tell me what's up with that. I'm not judging, I'm questioning it. What's up with that? Why when you get a beautiful platter of food, why is the first thing on your mind to take a photo of it? Why isn't it like why isn't it oh man, that's like why don't you just like damn, thank you darling, you know? Or like, you know, thank you so much. This you know, why is it like before when you would get a meal, the first thing on your thought is thank God for this. Now when you get a meal, it's like thank the internet for this. You know? It's like everybody wants to take a photo of their food. Why aren't you praising God for your food? Why is the first thing you're doing is taking a photo and praising that photo? That's where's the love, man? You gotta love your food too. And you gotta love God. I mean, I actually, you know what, man? You're loving your food more than you love God. That you got to take a picture of it and praise it. What's wrong with this world, man? What's wrong with this world? It's not, actually, there's nothing wrong with this world. What's wrong with people? What's wrong with people? You tell me what's wrong with people. But yo, man, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna go eat something. I'll be back in a bit. Y'all take care.